about some of the memorable moments you had in your ministry, or how God has been real to you. Yeah.
Okay. Most memorable. Actually, there are so many memorable occasions in the ministry that there's so much to praise God for, thank God for, and glorify God. And it goes in all the 5 realms: physical, mental, social, spiritual, and financial. Yeah. From the moment I left to go to the United States, already I saw the marvelous hand of God. Yeah. Because when I landed in San Francisco, my father's friend had said, all your travel plans have been fully taken care of. You just tell them your name at the Pan American Airlines booth, and they'll show you where to stay for the night. So when I landed at San Francisco, September 22nd, 1958, and I gave him my name, Heng Swee Chun, and he searched. He said, sorry, I can't find your name. I said, it cannot be. My father's friend is a travel agent. He told me everything is booked already. Heng Swee Chun. I don't see. I said, don't mind, try a 3rd time. Don't have. Because in Singapore, our names are reversed. George Washington, last name is Washington. Our last name is Heng, put first, Heng Swee Chun. So you must have looked under Chun and not find it. But anyhow, I did not know that. But God provided. Because when he said, sorry, I don't find your place, your name, I said, Lord, what do I do now? And there, in the next line, there was a lady with an armband. She was foreign student advisor. Her name was Barbara Lemke. So she came over and said, can I help you? I said, yeah. I am supposed to stay overnight in San Francisco, but no place to stay. So, okay, why don't I fetch you? So I checked in whatever luggage I had, and she drove me up and down the streets of San Francisco, 15 miles away, to a hotel called Stratford. And he said, you stay here tonight, pay $5 the next morning. In those days, they're big money. And there'll be a bus outside to take you back to the airport. So God provided. So when I am stuck, when I went to New York City, the same thing. When I landed there, I'd written Reverend Timothy Toh. He was studying at Philadelphia. Please come and receive me. 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. But he never came. And I waited 1 hour, 2 hours. What to do? I'm in a brand new land, don't know anybody. Huh? Finally, I said, I'll take my suitcase and walk out. And then, just then, 2 young men rushed up and said, are you Heng Swee Chun? I said, yeah. Hooray, we found him, we found him. I said, what have you found? Oh, we came to fetch you. Because Reverend Toh not able to come, called the college sent us, and guess what? We lost our way on the highway. And they came 2 hours late. So I saw again how God provided. So, physical, yeah, mentally preparing me for my studies. We are British trained. Write a lot about small things. But in America, it is broad study. Know a little bit of many things. So I prepared very hard for English style. But later on I changed. There's a little of many things. And I got the dean's list. So, mentally you have to get readjusted. Socially, make friends. Here we all make friends, deep friendship. There, they don't. Hi, bye. Hi, bye. Hi, bye. Nobody want to have a deep friendship with you. Spiritually, yes, we went to church, but I had difficulty worshiping in the church then. Because the musicians were so talented. So you're so distracted. And I have to sing so fast. I want to mouth the words, cannot even mouth. I just have to sing in my heart and mind. Yeah? And the congregation is so big. You hardly meet the pastor, you hardly shake hands. Some of them talk about, why don't you just stay in the room and turn on the video and worship? I say, yeah, you worship like that, but how about your offering? So, anyway, I had to get readjusted. and then financially the Lord provided. So, what are the most memorable moments in the ministry? That was in my training. Actually, the most fearful thing I had when I went overseas for training was money. Poor family, no promised support by anyone, except my father paid my first year. The church collected money to pay my airfare, which was another 5,000. And that was it. So I'm like Abraham, not knowing where I'm going, never been there, no friend there, but the Lord provided. And I got a job working on the campus, clean the chapel, seating 300 people. The job was done by two huge, hefty American football players, must be about nearly 180 or 200 pounds. And here I'm a 120 pounder, taking the job which is done by two big Americans. How? I pray for wisdom. And the Lord gave me wisdom. Yeah? The job was two Americans, 20 hours per week, 40 work hours. I, one small Singaporean, did the job alone. I did it in 13 hours. And the Americans complained, floor is too slippery. But anyhow, this is how God provided. So whether you need money, whether you need wisdom, God will give. So don't be discouraged. Yeah? So socially, spiritually, financially, God provided me all the way. So when I finished my 5 years, no money to come back. God provided. God provided money for graduation. The night before graduation, I had no money. But on the morning itself, the money came. So God is just marvelous. And so because of that trust in God to provide money, that's why when we came back to Galilee, church not pay me on time, never mind. I trusted God. I never lacked. Building the church, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, I said on one condition, we will not take a loan. Because sooner or later it's God that provides. So it's a question of whether we trust God earlier or later. So I thank God. Deacon David Teo Sing Hock supported me. And all the rest agreed. So we built the church phase 1, 2 and 3. No loan, and God always provided. And by the time of the dedication, fully paid for. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. But I think the most momentous has to do more with my call. It was my ordination, because I was due to get married August 27th, 1966. That was 3 years after I came back. So I said to Reverend To, I want to be ordained so that my wife will know that she's married to a committed pastor, ordained, and not no ordination, that means flexi. So I got ordained. And it was the night when I was dressing up for my ordination. I got the surprise of my life. This is the moment. My father said, son, I want you to know that I have offered one of my sons to God, and I said, Lord, please take one of my sons to serve you full time. But he never told me that until the very night of my ordination. Then I realized God had answered my father's prayer for a son to serve the Lord full time. Although he had expressed he hoped his son would be a doctor. Yeah. But thank God my elder brother became the doctor, I became the pastor, so my father had his prayer answered both ways. Well, the other thing that really struck me is God's answer to prayer to the smallest detail. One of the most exciting answers to prayer was salvation of my father-in-law, the late Mr. Lee Kway Gao. Yeah? When I knew my girlfriend, met him, and when I became quite serious with her after I returned, I began to witness to him. He is a businessman. He works 363 days a year, except Chinese New Year. Every day he will walk to work. And whenever I had an opportunity, I'll witness to him. And he will always say in Teochew, Mang Mang Lai, Mang Mang Kao Le, let me take my time, let me think it over. So anybody who tries to witness to him, he'll listen for 15 minutes and say, Mang Mang Lai, let me think it over. So I was so frustrated. I said, Lord, how can I reach this man? Yeah. So 6 months before he died, he was coughing badly. So brought to the hospital. He has 8 sons. I volunteered to fetch him to hospital so I can witness to him, talk to him along the way. Then every month I fetch him down, but the patch was still there on his lungs. So after 6 months, doctor sent to SGHC professor. So I had prayed. I said, Lord, I'm supposed to preach the gospel. And I'm supposed to preach the gospel to people I don't know. But here's my own father-in-law whom I know, who's not yet a Christian. And Lord, my wife is not an ordinary wife. She's a pastor's wife. She's supposed to encourage me in the ministry. How is she going to encourage me in the ministry if her own father goes to hell and the lake of fire? Sometime before that, I had prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, if only I can find a man with the same background as my father-in-law, older than him, Christian, and not ashamed to witness for Christ, I think he will believe. These were my 4 specifications. And it was only at the funeral when this man, Mr. Ng Hak Liang, testified. I came from the village of Ang Mung Teng in China. I'm 4 years older than your father-in-law, and I was classmate to his elder brother, went to the same primary school, graduated and became principal of that same primary school. And he witnessed to my father-in-law, answered all his theological doubts and questions. I just marveled how God is so specific. He answered my prayer right down to the last detail. And so I see this again and again.